Most people would never imagine being forced to sell their private property against their own will. But the government makes this exact scenario happen in the name of the greater public good. The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution allows private property to be taken for public use so long as just compensation is given. The 14th Amendment reaffirms this and adds that due process of law must be used in order for government to take property. While public use was initially limited to government functions that would benefit the public, such as a new water or railway system, the interpretation of what public use means has expanded greatly over time. For example, take the case of Kelo versus City of New London, Connecticut. Suzette Kelo and her neighbors were told that they had to move out of their homes and find a new place to live because the government would be using eminent domain to forcefully buy their property from them. The property was not going to be used to build a school or public building, but instead was intended to benefit the expansion of Pfizer, a private drug company. Suzette challenged this taking in court and ultimately lost in a 5-4 decision before the U.S. Supreme Court. In their majority opinion, the 5 justices stated that economic development was a good enough reason to use eminent domain. Government would be allowed to take people's property in order to sell it off to other companies that could increase the tax base. This decision rightly outraged people across the country, which led to the Kelo effect. 44 states passed laws or constitutional amendments to increase private property protections against the use of eminent domain. Utah was one of those states. The legislature has passed numerous laws since 2006, enacting some strict rules for eminent domain. But abuse can still happen. Just last year in Salt Lake City, the state lost a court case when they tried to use eminent domain to take a person's land to swap property with Rocky Mountain Power. Where else and how often is this happening in Utah? Do people know they have a right to challenge eminent domain in court? And is government only using eminent domain when it should? All of these questions are difficult to answer without easy-to-access information regarding where, when, and how eminent domain is being used in Utah. In order to ensure the law is being fairly used across the state, this information needs to be made public. Our property rights depend on it. For Libertas Institute, I'm Michelle Aiden.